Now, Ontario is Canada's auto industry hub. The majority of Canada's 125,000 auto workers are in the province, and there are hundreds of thousands more jobs in auto-related businesses. Last year, Ontario plants run by GM, Ford, Stellantis, Honda, and Toyota produced 1.6 million passenger vehicles, most of them exported to the United States. Ford said tariffs will increase costs for American families and put American jobs at risk. And the CBC's Meagan Fitzpatrick is in Oshawa, Ontario, home of the GM assembly plant. Meagan, the union is holding an emergency meeting this hour. You're at that union office. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the meeting's been underway for about an hour or so now, Arthi, and they did call this emergency meeting in the wake of that news from President Donald Trump yesterday that he is following through on this threat to impose 25% tariffs on auto imports. And I can tell you the mood here, they're in a fighting mood, they say. They are wearing these elbows up t-shirts. They've got them here behind me. They're handing them out. And we did an interview with Jeff Gray, who's the local union president. And when I asked him how he's feeling today, he quite simply said he's upset. And then he's also vowing to fight for the jobs here in Oshawa, which they've had to do before. The plant here in this city has been through a lot of ups and downs over the years. It was just a few years ago that the plant virtually shut down. GM had not allocated any production to the plant, but they kept fighting and they successfully brought a production line back to Oshawa. They now make the Silverado pickup trucks. They were able to hire back more than 2,000 people. And they are saying, Arthi, they will not let these jobs go again. Here's a bit of what we heard from Jeff Gray just a few minutes ago.
In the beginning, I'm going to tell you the auto workers here in Canada, in the beginning, we were a little bit nervous, we were anxious, maybe a slight bit scared, but now we're sick of being antagonized. This is our auto industry here in Canada. We've fought for it for 90 years. We've gone through collective bargaining with all the companies for fair agreements. The auto workers in Ontario have made these companies billions of dollars, and we are not going to let these jobs go without a fight.
Yep, they say they deserve these jobs. They work hard, and they've worked hard for GM. And they say that the company should be fighting for these jobs and that its leaders should be going to Washington, D.C. and trying to convince Trump to lay off these tariffs and try to get the message through to him that this will hurt auto workers not only in Canada, but in the United States as well. We've heard predictions, Arthi, that the impact of these tariffs could mean the closure of auto parts and assembly plants within 10 days. And we've been hearing here today that it's not just the plants like GM, but all the industries and companies that are connected to the auto manufacturing sector. I spoke to another union representative who works at a company that they make seats for the GM vehicles. And he was saying if the GM plant here closes down, they likely would close down too. And that would mean the loss of hundreds of jobs at his plant. Here's a bit of what he told me.
We're a JIT plant, like a just-in-time plant here, so whenever GM runs, we run in conjunction with them, right? So if they go down, we're affected immediately. So if they go down, we're down. The 350 people in our plant, they're out of a job effective immediately, right? So it's directly involved with us too.
So we'll be trying to talk to more workers once this meeting is over, Arthi. But in the meantime, in terms of more of what Jeff Gray had to say, I asked him about how this issue is playing out on the federal campaign trail. And I asked him what he wants to hear from the party leaders. And he said what he doesn't want to hear is plans to support these workers if they lose their jobs, because they don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want support for unemployment insurance or for retraining to learn new careers. He says they are auto workers and they want to stay auto workers. And so he wants to hear essentially from the party leaders how they will fight to maintain jobs like his here in Oshawa. And he's also saying he'd like to see a sense of solidarity across Canada. And he said it's not just auto workers. He said he's thinking also of people who are working in the steel and aluminum industries who have been hit with tariffs. Whatever else may come next week when Donald Trump is promising more tariffs to be announced on April 2nd. We will be hearing from the National Union President for Unifor, Lana Payne, once this meeting is over, sometime around noon, Arthi.
Thanks for this, Meagan. That is the CBC's Meagan Fitzpatrick in Oshawa, Ontario.